Hey guys, it's Ty and welcome back to my channel. So this is my final video in my favorite series. So in case you missed it, all week, because it's my birthday, I decided to make videos talking about my favorite books from different genres. So video number one was my favorite fantasy sci-fi books. Then we had my favorite mystery thrillers. Then we had my favorite romance, followed by my favorite fiction. And then today we're going to talk about my favorite nonfiction books. Like the other videos that I've done, I'm not going to go into like a lot of detail into what the books are about, but more so just talk about the things that I liked. So we will go ahead and get started. So the first one that I have here is Evicted by Matthew Desmond. This book was really popular at one point, which is the reason why I picked this up. But in this one, it's just really focusing on the housing crisis and how poverty plays a role in that. And the author had, I believe, like followed different people around and kind of witnessed some of the things that they were struggling with when it comes to their particular housing situations, and how people were getting evicted and the reasons why people were getting evicted, and how poverty ultimately plays a part in that. This was really heartbreaking, especially at the times where he was talking about like people getting like disability checks or SSI, and how little people get back from that, and how they are supposed to be able to afford housing off of the little bit of money that they receive. It was just very, very eye-opening, and like I said, it was just very sad. And I liked how he incorporated the people that he followed around and like their stories and their situations. This was just a really heartbreaking story, but I think it's a story that everybody needs to read, especially if you're not really that familiar with the housing crisis that we are experiencing today. He did write another book called Poverty, which I do have, and I heard good things about that one as well. So I plan to read that one soon, but this one was really good. Another favorite of mine is Drama Free, A Guide to Managing Unhealthy Family Relationships by Nedra Glover Tawwab. This is like a kind of like a self-help book, which is not the type of nonfiction that I typically go for, but this was something that I felt like I could relate to. And in the beginning, I knew this was going to be the book for me when this was something that I highlighted. It says, when it's family, we might make an unhealthy exception because it's family, but we shouldn't make that mistake. Don't allow anyone to mistreat you, no matter who they are. And I think a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, struggle with relationships inside of their family. And we tend to struggle with those relationships is because we think these people are family. We should allow them to treat us however they want to and allow family members to take advantage of us. And that is not the case. And in this book, it just basically tells you how to get around like certain family dynamics and how to basically handle certain situations within your family, whether that's your like immediate family, extended family, family that you're married into. And I really, really enjoyed this. And I highlighted a lot of tips and tricks out of this because I think if you are somebody that doesn't like have a lot of issues within your family, I think this could relate to other aspects of your life, like with friendships and just how to navigate those situations and those relationships. So I thought this was really good, and I have talked about this several times on my channel, but this is one that I would really, 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 really recommend if you are someone that's struggling with issues with inside of your family. Getting into memoirs, which is something that I don't really pick up a lot of, because in order for me to like enjoy a memoir, I have to like know the person and be interested in their life. So when Britney Spears came out with her book, I knew that I had to pick this up. And basically she's just recounting her life in the music industry, all the things that she went through behind the scenes, the conservatorship her family put her through, the relationship that she had with her ex-husband and how that affected her relationship with her children. This was just a really sad story. And I knew that Britney Spears was part of a conservatorship because that was something that was in the news a lot, especially when she was trying to get out of it. But I just did not know like all of those details and events leading up to it, and how she was really treated by her family. And that is so sad. And how her family like really took advantage of her and put so much pressure on her to do well in the music industry so that they could benefit from it. It just really made me feel sorry for her and the things that she went through, because she was a great performer. Like, Britney Spears was so popular back in the day, and a lot of the performances and interviews and things that she mentioned, like, I remember, but it was just sad to see her talk about the things that went on behind the scenes leading up to some of that stuff. So I really, suggest people read this, especially if you want to get a look into her background, because I think that kind of explains how she is now, especially like when you see her on like her social medias now. When I'm referencing like her Instagram, I think because of what she went through is why she is acting the way that she's acting now. But she has such a sad story, but I think it's a story that everyone should read. So then the next one that I have here is Bad Fat Black Girl by Cecily Bowen. This is another memoir, and this is basically about this author's upbringing and how she got to be a hip hop journalist. So we see a lot into her childhood, how she was wrapped up into like shoplifting, how she did a little bit of sex work, and how all of that comes back to feminism. That's basically what she's relating all of her experiences to, is feminism. And I just really enjoyed her overall story. With memoirs, I feel you could leave out a lot of stuff about your past if you wanted to, but it seemed like she included everything, and it just felt like a really honest story. And I did pick this up on audio, and I would suggest picking this up on audio because the author narrates it herself. It just felt more personal getting this story from the author herself. And I also liked how at the beginning of each chapter she was referencing quotes from popular rap songs, and I just felt like parts of her story was really relatable. But this is one that I was not expecting to enjoy as much as I did, but I'm happy that I picked this one up because I really enjoyed this one. The last nonfiction book that I have here that I really enjoyed is 400 Souls, and basically it's written by a whole bunch of different authors, and they take a different section in history, so from 1619 to 2019, and they kind of write about it. Some of these are actually stories from something that happened during their time period that they picked. Some of them are like poems that they wrote. And so when I say that they talk about different topics in here, they talk about different events during that time period, or they will talk about different people that were important during the time period that they picked. And I think this is a good starting point to then get more information down the line about whatever piece of history that you connected with or wanted to know more information about. But I really enjoyed this. I tabbed this up a lot. There were a lot of great stories, and I liked how these authors did something different with each section that they chose. And this is one that I would highly recommend if you are just looking to get like some quick information about a certain time period between 1619 and 2019. But this was really engaging, and I just thought that the way that it was told and how everyone was able to write their section differently really added to the experience of this. But yeah, I really enjoyed this story, and I would highly recommend this. So that is all that I have for you guys. I will link all of my videos that I have done in the series down below in case you have missed any of them and you are interested. And if I have any related videos to the books that I just talked about, I will have those linked down below as well. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.